starts at Belmont, it's even worse than they're reporting.
Oh, that's God, I'm on the phone.
Yeah, I just heard somebody talk about trying to back up starting at Belmont. That's way over like 185.
Yeah, Sewell Drive, everything happened at 166. But it's like about a 6-mile, 8-mile pileup.
I copy that, thank you.
Idea for us to stop and wait it out, let traffic start moving on before we start rolling again.
Yeah, Sewell Driver, like I said, it's about a 6 to 8-mile pileup after that.
Well, I appreciate you, so the problem with that is that I also hear that the weather's supposed to continue like this and more snow expected.
Yeah, I saw some from the weather service saying by 8:30 it should stop, but I know there's going to be more continuing at some point in time today.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to go ahead and push on through this. If it's 6 or 8 miles, I'll go ahead and suck it up and try to take my time rolling through it. That'll be fine with me. I just want to get the fuck out of here because you know when that shit kicks up again, people are going to get out there and be idiots and cause another fucking pileup.
True story.
True story, man. The first pileup last night was down around the 160 and now it's all piled up like 170.
Yeah, I kind of need almost all my 11-hour clock to work with, though. Definitely don't want to be burning it up, same kind of traffic.
Yeah, last time I looked at it, said the road's open. It's just going to be slow getting through it. You're on west, there's a 15-mile backup.
Yeah, DOT reported they opened it back up about 6 o'clock this morning. But yeah, like everyone there on the eastbound side still confirming it's still bad back up.
Now, they've had another wreck since then. Yeah, there's another wreck at the 170. Somebody broke down in the right lane. 2 trucks got together trying to go around. One shot one way and one shot the other. They're at the 170.
Oh, wonderful. Does that mean the lanes are blocked again, or what?
Yes, sir. The lanes are blocked again. That's your place to sit down.
I appreciate the heads up.
Oh, that's fucking great. That's because all these bozos want to fly like a bat out of hell instead of fucking slowing it down in this shit. They want to act like this is damn fucking dry roads in the middle of summer. Thank you for that public service announcement. Wow, his panties are wound awful tight, aren't they? Yeah, I guess that sounds like a good idea for us pulling off up here, Scott.
Yeah, definitely. I can't deliver my load on time anyway because I already got backed up, so I really don't care at this point.
And there's a couple places across Middle America to park, but there ain't very many. Yeah, I was just getting ready to tell them there are a few places in the lot across the street, but it's filling up pretty quick.
Yeah, I see the across the street lot definitely has at least a few spots open. Park over here by Cracker Barrel too, if need be. Yeah, that's hard for me to, because I've been, I use the Arizona DOT Twitter page. They have a lot of, they do regular updates.
You have 6 hours and 16 minutes of remaining drive time.
See if I got anything new from them. Clear both ways. to make sure there's no nobody coming down the off ramp there gonna run a red light or anything. I'm not gonna bet on finding a spot over here in the main line. I don't like the way that side of the parking lot looks. Get out of the freaking way so I can park right.
Scott, you gonna back in these two back here next to me, or where are you going?
Yeah, I was trying to set up for those spots where there's two of them next to each other, but that freaking guy in the pickup's in the way.
You want the two here on the left facing the exit?
Yeah, two that are right by each other. I think you're right by.
Yeah, I'll grab one, let you come around and grab the other. That pickup just moved.
Apparently his phone was more important than being out of the way.
Oh, this blue-red Hurricane truck, you gonna be backing up right here in this spot, and then John Christner parking next to you? Yeah, Temple. Yeah, I'm in the main truck over here. I want to park next to this skateboard over here. I'm going to let you back up, and then I'm going to swing around if it's okay with you, JCT, and I'm going to back up right here to my left.
Yeah, that's fine. You go ahead and set up first if you want.
Got that truck to the right. The view is kind of pushed over this way a little bit. I'll kind of crowd this left side, give you plenty of room.
Copy that.
Damn, I almost got stuck. I had to go back a little bit to get going here. Damn.
Yeah, this lot definitely needs to be plowed bad. Oh, are you going by Ibn J or go for the one here in the corner? Ah, I see where you're going now.
Yeah, you can get next to your buddy over here. Was out here until I heard you guys talking about it. Yeah, that's a good place to remember. There's a great little steakhouse right over here too.
Yeah, even the food over here across the street at the actual truck stop is good. And you can also park on the street by Cracker Barrel in a pinch.
If you're going across the street to eat, the dining room's closed. Yeah, I figured it would be because of that disease shit that everybody's panicking about. They got everything closed.
Wait, I'm gonna straighten it up so you're gonna get more room, okay?
Alright, oh, you got more room on the other side of you, or? Alright.
Takeout.
Yeah, now my right side's gonna go move over a little bit, straighten out or whatever. I've got room to squeeze in between both you guys safely, but more room definitely helps. on space on the other side of you? How are you doing on space on the other side of you? Alright, yeah, the way you already were, well, it would be fine. There's enough space I can fit between both you guys the way you were. Or better yet, I'll just go to one of the other spots.
Alright, left lane is just wet. Hell, let's go. Or get the hell over.
Truck rolling forward on his foot brakes. Alright, so yeah, pretty messed up situation here. I need to send Shay a update letting her know I'm shut down here. About the dining area here is closed. Is it closed? Can't eat, dine in. They have to do carry out or drive through. Yeah, I gotta show you how close it is over here. Let's see, my mirror would have been in position. I'm kind of cocked over, and how tight it is right there. I'm like just inches away from Joe's trailer. Yeah, and this guy, actually, if you look, his door's far enough forward where he can probably get his door open and get out of his truck when he wants to without any kind of problems. And
westbound.
This is a parked westbound.
Well, if you're going on westbound about the 177, you're going to come to a stop. You got to back up all the way to the 158.
10-4.
And you got about a mile and a half, 2 miles of solid ice. And I had a wreck up there. They got it cleaned up, and people were just going across there in low gear. So it wasn't having to back up none. And people flying up there about the 177. They gonna come to a abrupt stop.
10-4, yeah, you're looking good back the other way.
send another update. So let's see. Yeah, I think it's just my trailer didn't actually. My tractor and trailer brakes. It took time for the air to release from the lines and allow the springs to reset the parking brake on both. All right. Anyway, we'll say what's up to him. See if he's gonna want to eat or anything like that. Foot hurts. Holy shit. Yeah, you do.
I can only hold one back at a time. Hey! Hey! Move!
Come on.
Move! Yeah, it's usually just me, so I just keep my shit on.
Alright.
Are you streaming?
Yeah, I can end it now.
So you're showing everybody all my shit?
Yeah. Come on.
Come here, pussy.
Come on.
Come here.
Can't even get in the damn truck because he won't let me. Or she, I mean. Alright. Yeah, I'll probably end the stream here because I don't know how long we're going to be, but this is Joe. He's the guy who trained me when I first got my CDL.
Yeah, you can blame it all on me.
Yeah. Freaking asshole piece of shit and all that.
And I have entertainment on the truck.
Yeah.
Have the puppies always playing.
What a mess though. But anyway, that's in a nutshell. Yeah, Joe's from the Oklahoma City area. Saying you've been driving for how long? 22, 23 years now?
96, so this November will be 24 years.
Cool. And then you did, I know you've done.
Hi, Dora.
Oh, hey there. Yeah, I got, hot, you did, I remember you did hot shot, also drove
I've done oil field, I've done tanker, I've done flatbed, I've done more oil field, done dry, I've done reefer.
It's quite a bit.
Done oversized.
Alright, then for anybody, if you're interested in, of course, he drives for Hurricane. They're based in Siloam Springs, Oklahoma. Is Oklahoma or Arkansas?
It's West Siloam Springs, Oklahoma.
Okay, yeah, because it's right by the Arkansas border off US 412. Where's it cross into Arkansas?
Right at Siloam Springs.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, so part of Siloam Springs is in Oklahoma and part is in Arkansas. Okay. Alright, good to know. Alright, so, yeah, now, he drives for Hurricane. I mean, and it's always good to let people know what kind of freight lanes people run, too, because, I mean, the people might be more interested in the freight lanes that he runs than what I run, or vice versa. So, my experience with you, knowing you're always running either between Oklahoma and California or between Oklahoma and New York and New Jersey.
Yeah, our main route is from Southern California across 40 to Oklahoma, and then 44 and 70 through St. Louis to Columbus, and then up through through Akron and across 80 into New York City area.
Yeah, and then a lot of New Jersey loads too, and
oh yeah, a lot up in the northeast area.
Now, how often do you said you went up to Montana not too long ago?
Yeah, one of our main accounts is with Shaver Foods, and they do a lot of prison loads. So that one, that's about the only load we get that takes us off our main route. And I've gone to Florida, I've gone to Washington and Montana and Oregon with that. I've been down, into South Carolina, North Carolina area with it. So
you guys do run pretty much all 48.
We do occasionally, but our main route is that 40, 70, 40, 44, 70,
and 76,
71 and 80.
Oh, 71, okay.
71 up to 76 and 76 across to 80.
trying to remember now. 71. I think you pick up in Columbus. Yeah, and then that goes up to
goes up to Cincinnati, or goes up to Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
But we cut off there at 76 and go over through Akron and that way.
Okay, now he was telling me about. Now a lot of people don't like the New York area too much. And he does do a lot of loads to the New York area, and he does a lot of multi-stop loads. But he was telling me last night that they actually make extra money on the. How's that work again? That you get more pay the more the drops you have.
Yeah, they pay us more every drop, and so I've actually had loads with it's only 600 miles total, but I've had a total of 13 drops on it. And that'll pay me as much as going all the way across the country.
Okay, now he was telling me it was like a 3-day long, you can cover the 600 miles on a single shift, and then, and they're all within a certain distance of each other.
No, I don't have the green 389 anymore. I'm in a 579, but this one I've got now, it's baby blue, white, and red. My youngest daughter picked the colors.
So, Jamie, do you know Joe or something?
I remember from your earlier ones when I had my earlier truck.
Alright, has Caden got any show trucks he's working on, Joe?
Yes, he's got one. He's kind of put it off for a little while. It's that green 579, but he's extended the frame out to, I want to say 350-inch wheelbase. I mean, it's ridiculously long.
Oh, you're not helping my ankle out right now.
Oh, come here. Sorry.
That's all good.
And he started putting on some 379 or 389s. He's got 5 or 6 now that he's done. Not really like show truck, but he's putting them up there so that they, he's got some 370 or 389s still running.
Okay, Dactyl 65. Her name is Tara. She said just called up there, I think, to the cafeteria there at the truck stop. You can order food from the deli. You just have to pick it up from the counter. No dine-in available. Okay. Yeah, they got good food. I think this is the same company that owns the Little America in Little America, Wyoming.
I think so.
Right?
But this just has a little deli in there.
Yeah.
They do burgers and hot dogs and stuff like that. Not a full. I mean, they do breakfast, but not a full menu like a full restaurant. But yeah, it's pretty good.
It is good food. I'll attest to that.
If we want a steakhouse, there's a steakhouse right there that's really good.
Yeah, it's where's that? Over by where because there's a shop right there, and then
it's just on the other side of over here.
All right. Okay, does he still got, I already answered that one. Still got the green 389. No, okay, does Caden still have his?
Yes. He's got, like I said, he's got several of them. He's got green, yellow, blue, a red one. He's got 2 more back in the back he's still working on. But he has, I think, 5 of them running right now. Yeah, now... Yeah, it's one of the cool things with Hurricane is all the trucks are like a bunch of different colors, it seems. They're usually all two-tone and almost like no 2 trucks are the same, right? No, the drivers get to pick the colors too. They have, when you first start with them, they put you in whatever's available. And then after a certain time, they let you pick whatever colors you want. And I originally was in a blue and orange.
Yeah.
Basically Denver Broncos colors.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what you told me.
And my wife and daughter both want to start riding with me on occasion. So I told them I wanted to get one of these double bunks instead of a single bunk. And so I went back with the original colors my daughter picked, which this is about as close as I can get. She wanted peach and white to be the main colors with the baby blue as the accent. But this one came up, so I grabbed it so I could go ahead and get in it and get it broke in before I started taking them with me.
Yeah, I forgot that your other truck only had one bunk until you mentioned that.
Yeah. Yeah, with me and my wife and daughter all riding together.
So
Me and my wife would sleep on the bed, and we'd have to make a pallet down here on the floor for...
So how's that work then? They do like certain number, like half the trucks have one bunk, half have two or something?
Well, most of the new ones are getting the ultra lofts, the double bunks.
Okay. And you got a shitload more space between the bottom and top bunk.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, it looks like you might have a full-size mattress.
No, it's still twin XL.
Oh, that's, yeah. I can almost swear it's lighter than a twin. Interesting. Anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna go showing you his bunk area, not without his permission.
Oh, go ahead. It's dirty. I don't care. You can see it.
Yeah, I mean, at least the I'll probably show you the arrangement, like how his cabinets and all that are set up.
And my little TV I got mounted on the wall.
So they got a pretty cool setup here. You got three-door dresser thing here. I've got a microwave. See, that's nice. I got a setup right there just for the microwave, and then even more up here. This thing looks even taller than my truck. Containers.
My 43-inch TV I got mounted on the wall. They made a custom bracket for it too.
Okay, now this is a 579 also, but now see, if you notice, he's got an actual door, like a on his, versus where I'm eyeing to have one of them vinyl or whatever
nets,
kind of snap-on type things. So, all right, do they still only have one fuel tank?
Yes.
How big is it?
150 gallon. I can still do 1,000 miles easy on one tank of fuel.
Yeah.
So if with this one tank of fuel, if you run it out of fuel, you're doing something wrong.
That's interesting. Yeah, you don't have to worry about fuel cross-flow problems like I have intermittent problems with my cross-flow valve.
The only thing I don't like about it is, like today, I'm going into California, and with me buying the fuel, I really don't want to pay the price of fuel in California. But with as far as I'm going to have to. Whereas if I had dual 150 gallon tanks, I could top off in Kingman or here, Flagstaff or wherever, go all the way in, get what I needed done, and get back out before I had to get fuel again.
Okay, now he's going to West Sacramento.
Come here.
But now, where do you usually load what cities do you usually go to when you end up?
Generally, when we load, it's usually in Salinas.
Okay, yeah, green loads.
Or down in the LA area, or down in go down into Yuma.
Oh, okay, yeah, pretty much the same stuff we sometimes do.
Pretty much just follow where the produce comes out of.
Okay, so you don't tend to do any reloads right there in the Sacramento, San Joaquin Valley area.
I've picked up one just north of Sacramento.
Like Yuba City or Marysville?
Up by Yuba City, up just west of Yuba City. But generally I'm heading back down to Salinas.
Okay. So yeah, even with me having 200 gallon tanks, two 100 gallon tanks on my truck, that is one of the few cases where I don't have a choice. I have to get fuel in California. Even if I max out my tanks in Lake Havasu City, if I go up into Sacramento and then have to come back down to Southern Cal and back out, there's a pretty good chance I'll need to refuel in probably in Barstow or something to at least get me to Arizona. But yeah, now normally though, I can fill up in Fernley, Nevada, before I come into California on I-80 and make my delivery.
Sorry, Dora. I'm from Oklahoma. We pronounce things however the hell we want.
Yeah, we pronounce it Salinas, but that's all right.
I'm from and take the S off. You can go to Kansas. You're in Salina.
There you go.
So that's what I'm used to. Sorry.
And then there's also the one in Utah. I think isn't that also Salina, or what's that one on I-70 in Utah?
I think they pronounce that Salina too.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember my first load ever with him. It was a 3-dropper we picked up in what was it? Did they call it Riverside or Colton?
In Riverside, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm getting kisses
Yeah,
from the dog.
in fact, Matt Mosley, he and I were talking. You guys, those of you guys who watch me know Matt Mosley. I don't know if he's watching right now, but he had a pickup that was supposed to pick up at the same place he and I picked up when my very first load ever with him on his truck. And that went up. That had 3 drops. I think the first one was a Safeway DC in Denver.
Yeah.
And then we had
Arapahoe County
Jail,
and then the ICE Detention Center.
Yeah, and then also had North Platte, the Walmart DC.
Yep.
Then I think right after that we had to rescue that team trucks load that was out of hours. Remember?
Yeah, and then that was a ordeal.
Yeah. Yeah, because we were supposed to go like 50 miles east over to not to Lexington. Though. What's that other?
Well, we were in North Platte, and they were supposed to meet us there, and we ended up driving 150 miles, 200 miles, almost to go to where they were, because they didn't realize they were out of hours.
Yeah, I think it was like 100-ish because it was before we got to Grand Island, I think, and. Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, that pilot that's over there, we ended up stopping at.
Move.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, that was my first ever load experience, and this was in early March 2016, and I remember that. Of course, they freak you out about driving on icy roads, and then my first time ever driving this truck, I'm the one driving while we're going on to I-70 in Utah, and I can't remember, we ended up switching out, but. Yeah, I realized like I'm freaking out on I don't want to go over bridges or anything because I'm having these like nightmares that I'm gonna lose control as soon as I go over a bridge, and everything went all right. I just was careful.
Sorry, the dogs are wanting to be the center of attention.
Yeah, the real awakening for me was watching him drive. I think a week or so later in Wyoming, and I'm like. These roads look like this, and you and everybody out here is driving like 50, 55 miles an hour. Holy shit. So that is what the typical experiences with somebody fresh out of CDL school. So, but now it's, when you drive through there enough, though, I can see why he and everybody else drives through there on the kind of conditions that I saw. That's a lot of times the road actually looks worse than it really is, but then there are also times where, it really is. It'll jump up and bite you. I had one actually in Elk Mountain last year. I think it was October, November, or something like that of last winter. Not this last October, but previous year.
Right.
On Elk Mountain, there's like 2 areas where there's like a bowl that goes down and back up, like the 265, and then
it get icy as hell all the time.
Yeah, and then another one at the 250. Exactly right. The road looked like it was okay.
It could actually be in the upper 30s, like 38, 39 degrees, but because of the wind, those roads will be completely iced over.
Yeah, and then so I was heading west. I was heading westbound.
Hey, go.
I'm heading westbound, and the road looks like it's in pretty decent shape, and it's just like you described, like upper 30s, maybe even 40ish, and. I see a truck in a median, right in the median, facing the same direction as me, and I could tell they were moving or trying to move. So of course I fixate on them, and I'm not thinking anything about like why are they there in the first place.
Famous last words.
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up, I felt my back end, my drive axle kick out off to one side, and I just had to keep my throttle steady and drive through it, and keep my steer tires pointed where I want the truck to go, and made it through that. But like, oh god, hey, don't fixate on what someone there is doing, because there's a reason why they're there, and I figured out the hard way why they're there. But thankfully, it didn't end up joining them there. So yeah, it's definitely got to watch out for this stuff. I had another one in Nevada. Going across I-80. Oh man, that was another one. It was raining. The road looked just like a normal wet kind of road. but in reality it was icy. Yeah, but I'm sitting there doing like 50, 55 like I'd normally be on a rainy road, like not super wet road, but wet. And passed by one truck. He's got his 4-ways on. I think he's on the right shoulder, but in reality, as I get further up and over the little hill that he was already over, I found out he was in the right lane. Okay, I was thinking, well, maybe this guy just has a problem. I get up and about another mile up the road, there's another truck doing the same exact thing. I'm like, whoa, we got a problem here. So the first truck, I can see him like in derate mode or something. You can kind of excuse that, but see 2 trucks doing the same thing in that same area, like, hey, there's something they're noticing I'm not. I need to figure it out. So yeah, I figured it out pretty fast. They were worried about slick conditions, and so I backed in. So I got down about 30, whatever, and just you can kind of play around just very gently with the steering, just to feel how spongy the steering response feels or whatever. Just get down to low speed before you do this kind of thing. Just that way you can kind of test how slick it really is.
And the best thing is never make any fast movements.
Yes.
If you need to go somewhere, expect to, like what I used to tell you in bad conditions, is if you need to change lanes, don't move your steering wheel. Move it so lightly it doesn't even look like you're moving it. Just think about moving over hard enough that you'll move over. And just go that easy. And just take 5 times longer than you normally would to move over.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of you guys watching are not even truck drivers and never will be, but what are you saying there? Absolutely extremely useful and important.
Goes for cars and pickups, anything.
Yeah. I mean, you talk to us, we'll sometimes be out here and see a whole bunch of cars sliding off the road, and you won't see a single truck off the road. That happened when I was a trainer myself on the Walmart fleet. Going up to Utah, the 100 to 105 mile marker on I-15.
Yeah.
I had a trainee on the truck, and it was like October, November-ish. We were getting dumped on up there, and there were just an out of 5 mile span. They had at least a dozen cars. All of them were cars. Every single one of them was a car. No truck at all was off the road. But we had a dozen cars within a 5 mile span. They either went into the median or off into the ditch off the right side or whatever because they lost control on the slick road.
Well, one of the reasons why we're sitting here is because there was just another wreck, and it was 2 cars, but then there were 2 trucks coming up behind it that had to avoid them, and they went off on either side. And so it was 2 cars that kind of screwed it up. Now, as we're sitting here, I'm watching all kinds of trucks coming in here. So they're starting to realize that they're going to be starting to shut down, so they're not sitting in that backup. At least the ones that have the radios on.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's interesting is there's actually a pretty good number of spots open here.
Yeah, but everybody's going on that other side.
Yeah. So we got 3 spots in a row right there. There's another one right here between this the step deck and the dry van right there. Another one between this step deck and looks like another dry van over there. And I know there's more too. So pretty decent number of spots open here at the moment, but I'm surprised, like I'm saying, because there's not many places you can get to between here and where the traffic delay starts. Got Belmont, the pilot there, and that'll probably fill up fast.
It was probably already full.
Yeah, and he's looking up the traffic conditions right now on the map.
Right.
So, yeah, that area, there's a little chunk right there where there's no traffic data at all. That means that nobody's getting through there. So it's definitely not good, and that's actually before you even get into Williams. And then, of course, the dark red means they're like basically at a standstill or moving extremely slowly. So yeah, definitely a good reason why we stopped here. And I got I got to be careful personally with my 11-hour clock. If there's any possibility they might want me to go ahead and show up whenever I can whenever I can get there in Wilmington.
Get on bed.
Then I don't want to be stuck in that and have my 11-hour clock running down and causing me to not be able to reach there. So that's one of the good reasons to stop. He's on his way up to Sacramento. He's going to have to stop for a 10-hour break at some point in time anyway. I think that's like 800 plus miles if I remember right. We both started in Winslow. It was 255 miles. There. Put another 160 from Arizona to, the California line to Barstow. What's that? That's 415. Another, I'll just say 130.
764 miles to where I'm going.
From right here?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now he's got a faster truck. You can do 75, I think, right?
I can do 70 on this one. They didn't set it up. I decided to screw it. I'm not going to mess with it.
Oh, okay.
I could have them turn up to 75, but I tend to get myself in trouble going through a few areas where it's not 75 speed limit.
I was kind of eyeballing your microphone setup here because I do need a different way to hang mine.
I just have it on these. Usually these have been stretched out by my grandson, but usually it pulls up to about right there.
Oh, okay.
And that way I can just pull it in and it's not swinging extremely wide.
Nice looking aftermarket one here. A-static Palmyra.
Probably one of the best microphones you can get.
Yeah, truck stop or at a CB shop?
Either.
Oh, okay. Alright.
I got the metal braided because I had a puppy on the truck that liked to get a hold of the rubber one, and I went through five microphones in about a month and a half. And so it was the same price to replace the whole thing as it was just to replace the cord.
Wow.
So I have 4 of these down underneath the bunk.
Oh, and your radio, the cord hooks up in the back or side or something?
On the side.
Weird.
Yeah, because this is a lot bigger radio than the little Cobra 29 I had.
Okay.
It's about I got that in
Connex.
about 98. So I've had that radio for 22 years.
Okay, now Joe, if I remember right, is a ham operator too. So
I was.
So
I haven't updated my license.
So yeah, if you have a ham license, you're allowed to run. If I understand right, you're allowed to run these at higher power than.
Not only that, but I was Navy Marine Corps Mars, which meant I could get on military and police band.
Yeah, now
legally.
Now Mars, what he's talking about there is a mutual aid radio system.
Military affiliate radio service.
Okay, yeah.
Now, this was back before satellite phones and all that crap, to when I could actually. I was transmitting communications between military personnel, either afloat or overseas, back to family members here. Or if family members had an emergency, they went through us to get it to them quicker. Because I started this back in the early 80s, and by the mid 80s we were using what was called packet, which was what became the internet. So no. That's my little chatterbox back there.
Alright, Jamie's asking, will it melt the ice off the antenna?
No, I don't have. With my old radio, yes it would. This one, not so much. This one I've just got set at about 60 watts, so it's not extremely high power. My old radio I used to have an old Yaesu base station ham radio, and on low power I was pushing 200 watts. On high power I was pushing 500 watts, and I literally could melt that. It'd heat up the antenna enough that it would actually melt the ice off.
Yeah, probably don't want to be touching the antenna either when you're doing
No,
it.
you really don't.
No. That was something they taught us when I was an aircraft mechanic too. When they were transmitting on the VHF and UHF radios, wasn't a problem, but HF radios, if they were using them at all, we had to either stay inside the aircraft or stay away from the aircraft, and even outside a certain range of wherever whatever the antennas were.
Ziggy, you are absolutely right. Those two will keep. Sometimes if it's not extremely cold, I don't even have to have the bunk heater on. They'll keep the bed nice and warm. Kind of sucks when I get out of bed though, because I lose the heaters. I have to kick it on.
Look at Mama standing all tall,
Like they want the attention.
She's like got her attention on, like, just like she's curious and
I think she's part bird dog of some sort, and so she watches whenever she sees birds, or she sees the crows out there by the trash.
Yeah, see crows right over there.
She sees birds or other dogs, it catches her attention pretty easily, and she stays focused on it.
There's the third one.
Oh, there were about 10 of them over there a while ago.
Yeah,
I think one of them drug the bag of trash a girl just threw in there a little bit ago out and tore it open, and they were all going through it.
Yeah, crows always. I'm gonna tell you, crows always fascinate me because they're super intelligent birds. Plus an alarm clock for you too.
Yes. My old, I haven't taught these two that yet, but an older puppy I had, I taught her anytime my alarm went off, it was time to play. And so that way, if I reached up and turned my alarm off, I don't accidentally fall back asleep. With her, when my alarm went off, she'd jump up on me, start licking my face, grabbing my hand, and it was time to play. I don't want to do that with two of them because I can hold on to one, the other one will start playing, and I end up, singing a soprano if I'm not careful.
Yeah, don't want to have that kind of problem. Sure, his wife doesn't want him to have that kind of problem either.
Hell, we got 4 daughters. We don't need any more. I don't think she'd be happy with it.
Having more daughters or pretending like you have more daughters.
Now we have a 4-year-old grandson we're raising.
Yeah. All right. I think that's enough. I don't know, chit chat, I guess. I don't know how long we're going to be here. I got to keep monitoring the AZ dot and other the traffic condition stuff. I need to see what my DM wrote back with, because I do see that she sent me something back. I got 17 seconds ago. Major traffic shifts scheduled for
45 minutes ago. That's the same one we saw earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and every hour or so they've been sending updates, so keep our eyes out for that, and maybe keep watching the Google traffic data. I just don't think we're really going to get any further than this, to be honest with you, though. Wouldn't be surprised if I end up the rest of my day here. So, see how it goes. I know my wife, if she's still on here, not going to be happy to hear that, because if I can at least get out of here in some kind of time, I might be able to make it home.
My little escape artist here.
Nice.
Still pretty good. Oh well. I'll hold on to it.
I was gonna say almost like if it was just a little bit shorter, you could fit it underneath the armrests of the seats.
Oh, I could do this.
Oh, there you go. All right. Yeah, and I can tell Bootsy's gonna get a little more talkative here in a second. So, all right. So, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this stream here, and this is definitely not your everyday stream, and it's always good when I get to show you, introduce you to other people in the trucking world who I know. So, and of course, he's where my career started. So, he's an important part of it, and he was a strong influence for me. So,
again, you can blame me. I'm sorry.
All your fault.
Damn Marines screwing up everything, eating all the crayons.
Yeah, and then he likes to give me a hard time about my Air Force background, and of course, obviously with his Marine Corps background, same thing. Now, I have a guy on here named Carl. He's a Marine Corps vet also. And another guy named Sean. He's usually on in the middle of the night. Haven't seen him on here this morning, but he's an Army vet. Yeah, I want to say he's Army if I remember right. You guys remember? Jamie Good, I know you're usually on at the same time he is. I want to say he's Army.
Nice to meet you too, Jamie. And everybody.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. And whenever I do get a chance to actually leave here again, probably stream again. All right. So who knows when that'll be? It could be a few hours. It could be tomorrow. I don't know. So we'll see how it goes.
And it's snowing again.
Yeah. Look like the lighter flurry looking kind of stuff. Yeah. All right, so yeah, and this is I think supposed to go on for 2 days, some crap like that. So where the hell's my record and stop button? Weird. Right down there in the middle. Normally, right there is supposed to be where I can stop my recording, and
well, it doesn't want you to stop.
Apparently not. Perfect for doing donuts out there. Yes, I agree. It's I'd have some fun there. Just
get a truck up to about 30 mile an hour and start making a left-hand turn and pop the trailer brakes.
Oh man, you can freak out some people. I'm not gonna do it with.
I used to drive for Schneider, and up in Green Bay they have a skid pad, and what it is, it's Teflon coated, and they put a thin layer of water on top of it. I mean, it's just like being on ice, and they'll take you out there. They have a truck specifically built so that it won't go far enough to jackknife, and so that if you do screw up, it's not going to jackknife. It also has big wheels set up on like pontoons out the side of the trailer. Not going to have a wreck, but they have instructors that'll actually take you out there and tell you get up to a certain speed, start into a curve, and then jam on the brake just for a second, just enough to get you to start spinning, just so you can physically actually be in a skid, be in a controlled environment, but also learn what to do and how to react and kind of have a better understanding of what to do. And that's where I learned on stuff like this, in a truck anyway.
That's interesting. Yeah, no, since you mentioned that, I have heard that Schneider does have like a simulator that you can do also.
They got that after I quit them, so I haven't ever dealt with it, but they do have the simulator where you can actually, and it's a full, at the time, from what I understood, it was a full, I think a 10-speed transmission. You had to run it through the gears. You had to actually double clutch it and everything.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. That's good training there, I think. And to kind of summarize what he was just saying there with that Teflon thing, whatever. Yeah, the maneuver that he was talking about is what you call a double momentum shift. They teach that in CDL schools. Doesn't matter if you're in a truck or a car. A double momentum shift on a slick road is going to put you out of control, or very well can. And when you're in a truck, it's worse, because a double momentum shift not only can make you jackknife, it can also make you roll over. So
a lot of places we go, if you roll over, you end up on a long hill and you end up rolling a long ways.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of times for us, we say if something happens in front of you, the common thing is just stay in your lane. If you have to plow into them, so be it. If it's someone else's mess,
you just try to do what you can to lessen the impact as much as possible.
Exactly.
In situations like that, that's when they tell you to have that extra follow distance, so that if something happens in front of you, you do have enough time to get slowed down enough to where you're not going to add to it.
All right, Jim.
I was going to say, I've had plenty of experiences where I just quit. I want to say a lapse of judgment, but more of a lapse of paying attention to what's going on. Realize I'm a little too close, and I start backing off, and all of a sudden something happens.
Yeah, kind of like me in Elk Mountain.
Yeah, and I start realizing, and that's when I look at it and be like, oh God, I shouldn't have been up that close. And little things like that get you later on to snap back into paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah,
Trust me, I've had that pucker factor many times.
yeah. I had the pucker factor just a couple of weeks ago. We're in San Antonio. You know that area where 10 and 35 run together.
Oh Jesus! Worst. Anybody ever ask me what the worst place to drive in America is? They'll ask me if it's New York or L.A. I tell them neither. Here's the difference. The worst part is I-35 between Waco and southern side of San Antonio. The reason for it is in New York or L.A., I can be just as rude as them. But on I-35 in that stretch of Texas, I can't temporarily turn stupid like them. There's a big difference.
Okay, now you're missing one part there. That my experience driving with him, I'm going to disagree with him slightly on this. I can tell you from first-hand experience, the place he freaking hates driving around is Memphis. I think it was Memphis or Nashville.
It's Nashville.
It was just the simple case of even going into there, no matter what the traffic conditions are,
It's
just
messed up.
He's got like zero patience with that city. Like kind of like me when I'm going through El Paso or a couple other places like El Paso. I freaking hate driving through. Traffic's usually not too bad, but problem is the stupid rules. Hey, we're not allowed to be in the left lane, but it's okay for us to drive the speed limit. No, we can't do a speed limit because some knuckleheads in the middle lane not doing the speed limit, and there's no way for us to pass them on the right because there's traffic over there.
Well, the thing about going through Nashville is you're on a 3-lane highway, and the center one will split, and 2 of them will split off like this. And when you come back together, 2 lanes come back together to make 4 lanes. And to stay on the road you're on, you've got to be in those other 2 lanes. And for them to stay on the road they're on, they got to move over here. So instantly you have 2 lanes coming together to make a 4-lane, and everybody's got to switch sides.
Yeah.
And it creates, there can be just the slightest little bit of traffic and there's a backup.
That kind of reminds me of downtown LA where I-5 and I-10 run together. It's a very short distance.
Yes,
and
that's very similar.
Yeah, when you're going westbound on I-10 and you get into where I-5 is at right there by in East LA, downtown LA area, whatever, you kind of have to cross over the I-5 lanes to get, so you can exit to stay on I-10. And San Antonio, I-10 and I-35, oh my God. Yeah, you have to exit. There's a JCT right over there.
Yeah, if you're staying on I-35, it's fairly easy. Just stay on the lower levels and you stay in those lanes and it'll keep you all the way through. But if you stay on I-10, you got to switch lanes and get up to the top, switch back over, and then it exits and you got to get back over, and then there's the exit to stay on I-10.
Exactly, and that's where I keep getting messed up because I remember him telling me when I was on his truck that basically both in Austin and San Antonio, I think one of the good practices is stay on the upper side. And as long as you're staying on 35, it's okay, but to try applying that same logic on I-10, I'm like, oh shit, I just missed my exit to stay on. You have to actually exit.
For some of those that aren't familiar with that area, they actually have a 4-lane highway, and then it splits and it goes at just an upper and a lower level. Your upper level is more like express lanes. It has no exits. The lower level is where all the exits are. And in heavy rain, those lower levels flood because it just kind of keeps going up and down, up and over one road, come back, and you have an exit and go back up over. And every time you drop down, it's lower than the ground level, and they end up flooding. And so, but yeah, that's what they decided would be a brilliant thing to do to get traffic through there, and it just screws it up even worse because it causes a backup when everybody gets to the other end, and all of a sudden the right lane ends, so everybody wants over. It's just too many idiots in too small an area.
Yeah, and then for me, because I was coming westbound when I picked up my load in Seguin not long ago, and I had to exit to stay on I-10, or basically where it merges onto I-35, if I remember right. And there's a yield sign there, So you have to yield to traffic that's already on the other side, but there's a wall over there. It's hard to see the traffic that's coming back there. Even when I'm looking over my shoulder, looking over there while I'm in the curve, I couldn't tell. It looked like it was clear, but when I get to the yield sign, now I'm like, oh crap, now I got a traffic conflict situation here because there's somebody there I didn't see earlier. And so, and the road was wet. I kind of accelerated a little bit. Now, the turn and acceleration, it's something I didn't fully explain earlier. When I mentioned the double momentum shift, double momentum shift is when you change both your speed and your direction at the same time, to put it in a nutshell. So whether you're speeding up or slowing down, if you do that at the same time you are hitting it in a left or right turn, you put yourself at greater risk of losing control or in a truck rolling over.
Easy way to explain that, it's like in an 18-wheeler. You got the truck and the trailer. If you start to turn, that trailer still wants to push forward. So if you start turning and start slowing down, that trailer's going to keep wanting to push forward. And that's, in a truck, that's what can really screw you up quick.
Yeah. Make you roll pretty easily doing that. Another way it was described to me is if you're a mechanic at all and you work with like torque wrenches or something. Now with torque, when you apply it, let's just say you have a smaller torque wrench or something, or even just a ratchet. Maybe it's only like a 12-inch long handle on it. The amount of force you can put on whatever that bolt is or nut that you're trying to tighten or loosen, it's harder to do than you can if you have a 2-foot long handle on it. And and of course, if you have a 4-foot long handle, you can put even more torque on it. And basically, they described it because the tandems are further away from the kingpin. That's if I remember right, that's how they mention it. When you go to turn, it's kind of like whipping a ratchet around or something.
Well, according to Arizona 511,
closed again?
Still, no, it's saying long backups, but it's open. Well, no, it is still closed.
That's that same
West
area.
of Williams.
Yeah, that's that same area where it already was closed, west of the 161. But something going on over here. What is that?
That's probably where that other wreck was, because they said that was where that. Let's see. That says delays due to earlier crash. Westbound from Pittman Road, exit or mile marker 168 to Devil Dog Road is 161.
Okay.
So that's just another stretch that's backed up.
All right. So I think it's just residual delays.
Right. But that's still showing as being closed over here.
Yeah. So basically, once the traffic can get through there faster than the traffic that's actually coming into there, then it'll clear up. But so that's why the more, if you stay off the road and if you don't absolutely need to be out there, let it clear up. Less traffic out there means there's less traffic coming in. That's and adding to the problem.
Not to mention, just to be on the selfish side, I don't want to waste my time, my drive time that I have available, sitting in traffic.
Yep, exactly. So
if I sit here for 2 hours, I still have a full 11-hour day I can drive. Whereas if I pull up to that and I waste 2 hours in that, now I've only got a 9-hour day I can drive.
Yeah. So exactly. So if we're only doing like maybe 5 miles an hour for 7 miles, that's 35 minutes to go the distance that we could normally go. We could do it in 7 minutes or less. So you're burning at least a half an hour on your 11-hour clock that you don't really need to burn.
Yeah, James, that's what we've been seeing since last night. The wreck at the 161 milepost was at about 5 o'clock Pacific time yesterday evening. And it didn't open up again until, 7 o'clock this morning?
6 o'clock, yeah.
And so we got on the road and we didn't make it 25 miles, and we got reports of another wreck. And so we started looking at it, and sure enough, there was another freaking wreck up there where 2 cars, what we was talking about earlier, where the 2 cars decided to go ice skating, and the 2 trucks, I had to avoid them.
Okay, and he talked earlier too. This is the importance of having a freaking radio in your truck.
Yes.
Because if you don't do your weather and trip planning before you get on the road, because we knew there was going to be a delay, 7 mile or so delay, even when we got rolling. But we kind of figured, well, maybe it'll kind of clear up some as we get closer. But CB chatter and then more Arizona DOT updates were confirming, no, it's not going away at all. And it actually, just before we got here, I think right when we got around the Winona area, just east of here, CB chatter was telling us, oh, it's even worse. It's all the way back to Belmont. And that's how we knew about the accident that he was just talking about.
And they're still saying about an 18-mile backup just from the original wreck still.
4139. That guy didn't look familiar to me. Alright, yeah, there's a JCT truck coming. Yeah, he just came into the lot.
Well, he came across from the other way.
Yeah, I remember watching him come in over there, and he kind of stopped originally over there by where Sierra England's at.
I think he's going to try to park in that spot that's right up there up front.
Oh,
if he's going to go off in the...
What the... Yeah, I was going to say, don't put your truck in that freaking pile of snow. There's a curb there anyway.
Yeah, I think that's what he just hit.
To come back, he could come over here a little further and get his tandems more.
He could have swung a little wider here too, but anyway.
Right?
Because now I can see that curb down there that he's hitting. Oh yeah, the 2 guys that were having trouble backing in last night, and then the Navajo truck that was next to him this morning when you went in to use the restroom. Or no, it was after you left. The Navajo started pulling out of there, and he had plenty of room, and he just decided he couldn't make it, I guess. And he had his window down, and I had my window down just a little bit. I heard him start cussing that everybody's taking up too much room, even though he had room. It was kind of funny. He backs back into the spot. The 2 guys that had trouble backing in last night were up, so they fired up their truck. There wasn't anybody behind them, so they backed up a little bit to let him go ahead and go, even though he had plenty of room.
Oh,
so the 2 guys that had issues last night, I give them props this morning for actually seeing a guy having issues and backed up, so that they weren't part of the issue.
Wow.
They didn't show to be the very intelligent ones last night, but this morning they at least showed that they were a little considerate of others.
This was in the back-to-back spots across the lane from us?
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I hate parking in those kind of spots, because a lot of times guys in the spot behind you will actually encroach into your spot. I stay away from those. Not to mention, sometimes the wiggle wagon guys might want to. There was a guy there before you showed up, I think, FedEx or somebody. I remember when I was waiting on both you and the swap driver to show up. The spot right there in the corner, right in front of me. There was a wiggle wagon guy who showed up and parked there for a little bit. And they just don't have everywhere in the world that they can park like us.
Right.
And we have a lot of limited spots as it is.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah.
He just didn't quite give himself enough room to make that U-turn.
Yeah. Alright.
This place is clearing out a little bit, but still really messed up.
Alright. James loves the snow on trees. Okay, now James is he lives in Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
Or I could say just say Springfield, like the Simpsons, and then make you guess at which state that Springfield is in.
Let's see, which one? Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois. I go through the list.
Oregon.
I don't remember where all they are.
So many damn states with that same city name. All right, so I think that's enough messing around on here, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Like I said, I do need to see what my DM said, and hopefully they'll reschedule my load for tomorrow. because the way things are going here, I'm gonna have to.
The way things are going, I might have to reschedule it again.
Right. And I was originally not expecting to deliver until tomorrow anyway, when I had the load I originally was coming this way with. But I swapped in Winslow because the other driver, I can't remember, he got held up by something and made him late for a pickup, and so he was already behind the 8-ball as soon as he even got to the load. And so I was going to try to get it delivered on time for him, and that would help me out too, because I could have got my truck turned in for maintenance later on today, and I look like it'll be tomorrow. But I'm sure my wife will be quite happy, because now she'll know I'll have a whole weekend to sit and wait for it, and it won't even be done on a weekend. All right. Anyway, I'm going to end this here. I'll talk to you all tomorrow, or I guess later today or tomorrow, whatever it's going to be, whenever we end up moving out of here. So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging out watching. We'll see y'all later. Now, will this let me turn it off?